So, where do we start from when we have been raised to see our own traditions, our own culture, our own ways as demonic? When it comes to Ifa, a lot of people want to come to African spirituality, and the first thing they do when it's Ishashe Ifa is Orisha, Orisha, Orisha. I want to know who is my head Orisha, which Orisha has my head. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be close to the Orisha. But what Ifa teaches us. So first we must unlearn, and then we relearn, and then we keep learning, because Ifa is a lifelong learning journey. You never stop learning. One of the questions I get asked the most is, what do we do? How does one begin on this journey towards returning to African spirituality? And that's what I'm talking about today. I'm Agbonire Nweke NaijaZen. Please smash that like button, subscribe, hit the notifications bell. A lot of people are on this journey, returning home, as I put it, to African spirituality. Most are coming from Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Islam, right? Some Jewish, but mainly Christianity and Islam, because a lot of us, due to the colonization and the enslaving, are either Christian or Muslim, even back home in Nigeria, which some people are shocked about, not just Nigeria, all over Africa. Some people in the diaspora are surprised when I say, well, everyone in Nigeria is not running around practicing Ifa. They are stuck on their Abrahamic religions, and Ifa and all forms of African spirituality are demonized. So where do we start from when we have been raised to see our own traditions, our own culture, our own ways as demonic? You start by unlearning all the BS that you have been fed by your parents, by your teachers, by your friends, by your relatives, by society at large, movies, Nollywood crap. All that must be unlearned. And then we must begin to relearn who we truly are, what our traditions are really about. We need to relearn, because I say relearn because once upon a time, we knew this stuff before our brain cells were fried by Abrahamic religions, and we started to believe that all our ancestors were demonic and all our ways were demonic, and everything that comes out of Africa is no good. So we must now begin the journey towards relearning who we truly are and what our traditions are really about. And we must then start learning. So you can choose the tradition that you would like to follow. It doesn't have to be Ifa. Obviously, people come to me because Ifa, but it doesn't have to be Ifa. It can be Odinanigbo. It can be some other African spiritual tradition. Maybe you've done your DNA and you found out that you're from some other place. Or for those that are actually back home on the continent, you know where you're from, but we have been removed from who we are. So you may be, Igbo, Hausa, Ewe, Kikuyu. Is it Kikuyu or Kikuyu? I hope I got that right. Wherever you're from, Zulu, Xhosa, whatever it is, whatever your tradition or whatever the tradition you are interested in learning about, you must then begin to learn as much as you can about that tradition. And I'm going to talk about Ifa because that's what. So let me just briefly look at this from an Ifa perspective, because obviously that's what I know the most about. When it comes to Ifa, a lot of people want to come to African spirituality, and the first thing they do when it's Ishashe Ifa is Orisha, Orisha, Orisha. I want to know who is my head Orisha, which Orisha has my head. A lot of the sisters, obviously, they all believe they're daughters of Oshun, but that's another show. Thank you, Beyonce. But, it's all Orisha, Orisha. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be close to the Orisha. But what Ifa teaches us is that we must first venerate our Ori before we venerate any other deity. What is Ori? Your Ori is not just your physical head, which is what Ori means in Yoruba. Your Ori is also your spiritual head. Your Ori is your higher consciousness. Your Ori is the creator of your destiny. Your Ori is your God self. Your Ori is there to guide you, to protect you, to increase your intuition, to give you clarity, to guide and lead your essay, your legs, towards fulfilling your destiny, to steer your legs away from negativity, from evil, from poverty, from strife. Spiritual development in this tradition is not possible without you connecting with your Ori. So you should be doing your Ori work daily. We'll do other videos on Ori, or if you catch me live, those of you who have seen me live know that I always talk about Ori. Because without your Ori, Ori is the Ori in Orisha. What is Orisha? And Orishada. So the Orisha, those who I like to look at them as they did so much work on their Oris that they became exceptional beings and were deified. Obviously, we're not talking about the Irumale here. The Irumale were already divinities that came from Ikoleon, the spirit realm, which is often mistranslated as heaven, in my opinion. But again, that's another show. So the Orisha have worked on their Oris to such an extent that they are exemplary beings capable of magnificent feats. The idea being that we all have the potential to become Orisha. Of course, not everybody is going to become an Orisha because, first of all, most people are lazy. And you know what I mean? Most people are just not going to do that amount of work. But there are people who are deified even today and become Orisha, in their town or wherever they're from. So without your Ori, spiritual development is not possible. If you would like me to talk more about Ori and what you need to do, or if you'd like to join one of my lives, or maybe you guys want me to do a special live or something of that nature, drop a comment and let me know. So, where do we begin? After the unlearning, the relearning, and the continuous learning, we are working on our Oris and we are also reconnecting with our ancestors. In my opinion, one of the easiest, fastest ways to reconnect with your ancestors is through libation. And I don't like it to be confused when people say libations with a plural form, just meaning drinks. No, yes, we are using liquids, usually water or spirits, but it's the practice of libation. It's called libation in Africa, not libations, right? And with libation, the way I like to make things simple. For me, libation, which you could do in the morning, early in the morning, before around sunrise, is usually best for libation. It's a very powerful time. You can simply use a calabash bowl with some water, and I'll do another libation video in depth. But to me, as you are pouring that water into the earth, because libation involves you pouring water or spirit, right, onto the ground, usually into the earth, when we're talking about early morning libation as a way to connect or reconnect with your ancestors, it's quite fine to just use water. Pour that water into the earth. Connect with them, you pay homage to them, you salute them, you thank them for their protection, you thank them for their love, you ask for their blessings, you ask for blessings of longevity, you ask for blessings of good health, you ask for blessings of happiness, you ask for blessings of prosperity and abundance and all that good stuff. What that does is it tells the ancestors, because the ancestors are all around us all the time, right? But what that does, the practice of libation, Not only are you honoring and saluting, paying homage to them, you are telling them, hey, I want you to come. Make your presence felt. I need your assistance. I need your guidance. I need your blessings, because the ancestors are all over. They're there, they're there, they're there, they're everywhere. But once we open that door with the libation, they know it's okay to come in. And then if you have another morning practice, meditation or something like that, that is a wonderful time. You're sitting, right? You're connecting with the inner divine, you're connecting with your Ori, and the ancestors can also give you messages. So to wrap this up, because we'll be going more in depth into each of these, to wrap this up, unlearn, relearn, learn continuously, connect with your Ori, reconnect with your ancestors. And that to me is what leads to a spiritual reawakening, because I call it a reawakening because we're all born spiritual. We've just lost our way. And so now we must reawaken. That to me is the simple way to get started with African spirituality from an Ifa perspective. And for my colleagues, I would like to invite some of you on so we can look at it from other traditions. Smash the like button, subscribe, hit the notifications bell. Go check out my store at NaijaZen.co, shop spirituality, all that good stuff. I'm Agbonyi Regun, aka NaijaZen. I'm out.